Implementation overview. How we set up the evaluation. The first thing we ask you to do is identify 2 similar ability Year 5 classes. Using the What Word Teachers platform, you'll randomly allocate one of these to the intervention and one of these to the control. You then complete the pre-test spelling test with both the intervention and control classes. The intervention class will use the spelling strategy, control class will continue as business as usual. Then at the end of 6 weeks, both groups will complete the post-assessment task, which is the same as the pre again. Then input the data into the platform and generate an impact report for how the intervention has worked in your school. If it has proved successful, you can then open this up to the control class. Planning. Step 1 is identify 2 similar ability classes to participate in the evaluation from the same year group, in this case Year 5. Step 2. Identify 50 challenging words from the National Curriculum Guidance. These will be introduced by a minimum of 10 new spellings a week over 5 weeks. And then from these, you'll select 20 words to use as a pre- and post-assessment task. Please note that the number of words depends on your school's expectations for the number of words taught per week. The minimum is 10 words per week, and this will create a list of 50 words for 5 weeks, with the final week being a consolidation. Whilst we advise that you use the DFE spellings, you can use different spellings if these are from your school's existing schemes of work and you follow the same process, e.g. a minimum of 50 words are selected, with 20 of these words being used for the pre- and post-assessment task, which will be the same. Step 3. Using the trial wizard on the What Word Teachers platform, randomly assign the classes to the intervention and control group. So moving on to implementation. Step 4. Complete the pre-assessment spelling test with both the intervention and control groups. Record the marks in the Excel tracker and then input these into the pre-test on the trial wizard. As you're using class data, we advise that a second teacher reads out the scores while you input these into the platform. It will speed up the process. Step 5. For the intervention class, deliver the targeted intervention. Use your professional judgment to decide the frequency. So will this be done once a week or daily? And then log this in the process evaluation. The control group will continue with business as usual for the duration of the trial. And finally, step 6. Complete the post-assessment spelling test, which is the same as the pre, at the end of the 6 weeks to both the intervention and control groups. Record the marks again in your Excel tracker and then input these into the post-test on the trial wizard. If you then click Analyze, you'll then have the opportunity to complete a short process evaluation and then generate an impact report to find out how this intervention has worked in your school. So a quick recap of the intervention. This focuses on Year 5 pupils. It's delivered by the class teacher and can be set as homework. The teacher can decide the frequency. The time will take approximately 10 minutes per session. And it is the look, say, cover, write, check, which is a method of spelling where children study your word, say the word aloud clearly, pay attention to the spelling, cover it up with a piece of paper or their hand, write the spelling next to the original word, check their version to see if they got it right, write the correct spelling, again if necessary. And this version of the strategy emphasizes reading and saying the word aloud to help connect the written and spoken word. How to select the spellings. The DFE Primary National Curriculum includes guidance on expected spellings for Year 5. You could use this to create a spelling list of 50 words that you will select for the intervention. If you already have your spellings decided in your scheme, these align with the DFE, this is fine. Each week, the learners will practice a minimum of 10 new spellings using the look, say, cover, write, check spelling strategy. In the resource folder that you can download, you will find a template on a Word document. You will also find a one-page guidance on the assessment on how to set this up, and also an FAQs on frequently asked questions that may help you. You'll also find a tracking spreadsheet, which allows you to link an anonymized learner on the platform to a learner in your classes. Logistical issues need to be considered before using a targeted spelling strategy as an intervention. These include time. Is there a suitable time for the delivery in the school day? Reminders if it's set as homework. Resources, can you print off the templates in advance if these are required? And then will you link this to rewards? So logistical barriers are common in any intervention delivered in schools, so it's just important to consider these prior to starting. And finally, moving on to the assessment. The outcome measure is attainment as defined by the pre and post assessment spelling test. The assessment is marked out of 20 and is the same for both the pre and the post. As both the control and intervention groups receive the same assessment, familiarity with the assessment should not bias the effect size. And the final guidance is to complete the assessment under test conditions, allow approximately 10 to 15 minutes. If you can provide an example of the word in a sentence, and then record your pre and post assessment scores on your tracking spreadsheet and the platform. So that's the end of your guidance videos. If you can then download the research protocol, your resource folder, and then click the trial wizard to get started.